Hello everyone, and welcome to the Vintage Needle Crafter. My name is Laura. And as promised, I'm going to show today how to do a top-down knitted raglan sweater. The yarn I'm choosing for this is James C. Brett double knitting in the color SH07. It's a lovely shade with different types of blues. And I also have a number 5 knitting needle to start, and then I'm going to move up as we go along to my size 8. I have that over here. My size 8. I'll probably be using my size 8 with the long cord. Right now that is on a project, so I will be getting that for you and putting that on. But the number 5 is going to be for the collar. And also you will need some stitch markers for this project. All right, so let's begin. I'm going to start by casting on a number of stitches. And what you'll want to do is measure around your head, the widest part of your head, and loosely. You don't want to measure it tightly because the sweater will need to fit over your head. So usually with a number 5 and this weight of yarn, I like to cast on around 100 to 120 stitches. To cast on, we are just going to make a slip knot. And I'm going to show you, let's see, I'm going to show you the long tail. So get a long amount that's, probably 2.5 times longer than what you, 2.5 times longer than you think for your project. And then we're just going to cast on. I think I'm going to cast on 120 stitches. So the long tail is you just hold it between these 2 fingers here and lay it over your thumb, kind of grabbing it down below with these fingers here to where you've got, it looks like that. Okay? Then you just swing your needle under the thumb, picking up a strand there. Oops, kind of messed that up. Picking up a strand like this here, and then go under this way and take it off. Again, under, pick up here, swing around, pick up there. And that's your long tail cast on. Just like that. This gives it a nicer and neater appearance. See, you're holding it like that, and then you're kind of flipping your hand over. And then you're picking this up, and then you're bringing it over to this side, picking this strand up, and putting it in between like that. So I'm just going to keep going until I have 120 stitches, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, I have 100 stitches here, and you just want to go like this. I'm not quite sure if I'll need the extra 20, but I'm thinking so, because you could take this here and put it over your head, or just around your head with the circular needle. If it is not going around your head, which mine is not, we're going to need the extra 20 stitches. So just keep working, and you can see my tail's getting shorter. If you run out of tail, you can just go ahead and do the regular way. So we're just going to keep going till we have the other 20. Okay, also what we want to do is we want to make sure Just checking to see if my camera's rolling. We want to make sure we have 120 stitches. Now, if you're using a bigger than a size 5, you'll probably need less stitches. If you're using a finer yarn than this, and this is like a fine number 2 weight, you'll probably need a little more. So we're going to count our stitches, make sure we have the correct number to go around our head. Okay. Got our 120 stitches. Now, if this tail is going to be a problem for you, you may trim that. Okay, I have held it around my head, and 120 stitches is perfect. Now, like I said, if you don't want that tail, you could trim that a little bit. I'm just going to hold it back. Now we're just going to work in a 1-by-1 rib stitch, okay? And we're going to go, if it's easier for you to knit the first row, go ahead and knit the first row. But I am going to start with my rib stitch and just a knit and purl all the way down, like so. And I knit in the back so that it can be twisted rib. So I'm not going to do all this on camera. So we're just going to be knitting and purling all the way down our row. If you want to do the first row all knit, you can do that and then turn your work over and then begin the knit 1, purl 1 for the rib. It is a little fiddly to get in there with the size of the yarn and everything. So just take your time with it, okay? After we complete back and forth with our rib, then we're going to move on to joining it. This is easier this way because if I was to join it now, after this round, I might accidentally twist my work, and then that would be disastrous. So I like to go back and forth for a few rows, and leaving the long tail is beneficial because I could use this to sew it in, and I use a crochet hook for that. So, okay, I will meet you up when I get to the end of this row. All right, so I made it down to the end of my row here, and if yours does not end with a purl stitch, if you end with a knit stitch, you're going to have 2 knit stitches together. If that's the case, that's an easy fix. All you need to do is just purl the 2 together just to make it to where you're going to have in the round knit 1, purl 1. Okay, and then you can take your piece and once again, just kind of go around your head like I'm doing off camera here. Yep, it fits. All right, now I'm going to show you, I could do, and you may want to do this too. You may want to do an extra row or 2, and that is perfectly fine. If you're nervous about twisting the stitches, you may certainly do a couple extra rows just to give yourself a little more confidence. Oh, and I see my mail lady is putting a package out there in the mailbox. Something pink. I'm thinking that could be a package from the yarn that I ordered. I'm going to pause this and go get it. And if it's yarn, would you like to see what I ordered? Okay, hold on. Yes, just as I thought, it's yarn, and it's from Linda Hobby. So I'm going to open it up with you here. Just a little something I got for myself because it was on sale. Ooh, is that ever pretty? Ooh, I got another one of these Flora soft cakes. Isn't that one gorgeous? It's got reds in there and starts out with very light pink. This is definitely going to be another crochet shawl. These have a lot of yardage. They're 55% cotton and 45% acrylic, and it has 1,093 yards on one of these. So Nice little cake. Love that. Put that aside now. That's what I got in the mail today. So a little bit of a happy mail there. Okay, now back to this. And look at your piece before you start to divide. And just take it anywhere. Just like this. If you're working with a Chiaogu needle, they are very nice. It just takes a little bit of time and patience to get this going and not to twist it. I normally like to do an extra row or two, but if you look at the flat part here, just kind of straighten this out on my needle here. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, now we're going to turn it around to where we have our working yarn. Make sure it's laying flat. It is. Be sure it's not twisted, and we're going to begin. And this part here, we're just going to be joining. Checking once again to make sure we're not twisted at all. And we're just going to start that going in the round now. You may put a stitch marker there if you like. I can usually tell by my tail hanging down where my first stitch is, but I'm going to clip one in anyway. There. Now from here on out, we're just going to be doing however many rows you want, or rounds. They're called rounds now. Just keep going however many rounds you want your collar to be. You can have it as long or as high as you want to. So that's it. That's the collar portion. Now when I come back again, when I get this part done, you'll see the collar finished, and then I'm going to show you the next step. Okay? All right. Okay, so now I have finished my collar. And I did about 9 rounds. I think I did 9 rounds here. And now what we're going to do next is we're going to move up our marker. If you've got one there, put that into the first stitch, which would be your knit stitch, like so. And we're just going to keep our same size needle for this round. And we're just going to knit. Now we have 120 stitches. I don't need to increase any at this point because our raglan will be the increases. So we're just going to go around and knit in every single stitch. This sets up our round for the raglan. So we're just going to keep going around all the way around until we reach our marker, and then I'll show you what to do next. We'll start our raglan then. Also be sure when you are knitting that you are not knitting in the back like we did with the 2x2 rib. Make sure you're knitting from the front like this, going all the way around, okay? All right, so I've waited all the way around, and as I was knitting that round, I was also counting my stitches to make sure that I had 120. Okay, now I'm going to grab my larger needle. Okay, so I have my size 8 here. My longer one, is on a project, but I'm going to go a few rounds with you and show you how this is done. Okay, first of all, we're going to slide this needle back like so because we don't want our stitches slipping off. Bring this forward. Just have to bend it a little bit. That's a nice thing about Chiaogu needles. They're very bendy, because this one you want out of the way. All right, now I made up a formula over here, and I wrote it down, and this is the formula for 120 stitches. I messed up at first, but I figured it out. Always the formula is going to be this. Your total stitches in combine, your front and your back is going to be usually twice as many stitches as your arms will be, as you can see here. And we're going to begin with the center back. This stitch, the beginning stitch right here, this is going to be the center of the back. So you're going to be dividing the back stitches in half. And I'm going to grab some stitch markers. So we're going to need 4 of those. And starting at the center back, knit 20 and place a marker. Okay, so grab our larger needle here. We're going to knit 20. Get my yarn in place. It's a little fiddly. Here we are. All right, we're going to knit 20 and place a marker. 1, 2, kind of slide the yarn down here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm a slower knitter. 9, 10, 11, 12, and I get a go when I'm not. 13, 14, whoops, 15, 16. This is the fiddly part, okay? 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, we're going to count those again. Make sure we have 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 16, 20. Okay, and in the 20th stitch, in that 20th stitch, we're going to place our marker, okay? Just like that. Now, the next will be the arm. We're going to knit 20 stitches and place a marker, and that will be the arm. Get this out of the way. It's a little fiddly because you're going from one larger needle from a smaller needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Push it up. Scoot this back. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, and in the 20th stitch, we'll place our next place marker, stitch marker. Just like that. Now we're going to do the front, which is we're going to knit 40. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to sit here and count 40 with you on camera because I'm trying to make this video not too long. So we're going to knit out 40 stitches and we're going to place a marker. Okay, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That is for the front of the sweater. I'm going to count again. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Okay, so put a stitch marker in there. And this is the front of the sweater. Now we're going to do 20 again and place a marker for the other arm. And you can see now it's getting easier. My stitches are coming off one needle and going onto the other. So 20 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a little tight because we're going from a smaller needle to a bigger one. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 8, oops, 18, 19, and 20. All right. Count that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 20. Okay. And we're going to put a marker. And that's your little arm right here. From here to here is your other side of your arm. Now, if I've done this correctly, there should be 20 stitches left. All right, and we're just going to knit these last 20. And that's the other half of our center back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oops, scoot that back. 13, 14, 15. Oh, it's tight. 16, 17, 18. Yep, 19 and 20. And that brings us right back to our center back, which you don't need to put a stitch marker in there for that. Now, yeah, I know, you're going to be hard to see because I've got this smaller needle. I really should go find my larger needle. Now, with this yarn, I would not go up any higher of a number than a size 8 for your sweater because you're going to see gaps and you're going to see holes. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is work the raglan next, and we're going to knit. And see where this marker is? That's going to be your center knit stitch, okay? So we're just going to, easy peasy here, we're going to knit to that arm stitch, okay? Just like that. Yep, the bamboo needle sticks. I like the metal Chiaogu needle much better. And when I'm going around, I'm going to do these stitches off camera. Just this first one, I'm going to get over. Okay, knit until you've got right up to the marker. Keep knitting till you get to that marker right there. Now, here comes our first raglan stitch. Yarn over, knit the marked stitch, like that. Yarn over, and now we're going to knit to the next marker, okay? We're just going to knit right to the next marker. Okay, we are right to our next marker, and again, yarn over. See, that's going to make that lace hole. And then we're going to knit the marked stitch, yarn over again, and just knit all the way down again to the next marker. And it's really easy. This raglan pattern is quite easy, and I'm going to knit this off camera again, otherwise it will take too long. All right, and I made it to my next marker again. We're going to do a yarn over. We're going to knit the marked stitch, yarn over, and we're going to knit on down to the next marker. And you guessed it, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, so it's really not hard. You get the idea. Wish I could pick up some speed. Not with this bamboo needle, though. This is my least favorite. I only got this as an extra needle when I was working on a sweater and wanted to do the arms simultaneously with the body. It's a very short needle, too. I like them long. I like them long. Okay, just going to knit to that next marker right there, and yarn over, knit the marked stitch, yarn over, and now we're going to knit all the way up until we reach our beginning marker, which was right here. So that's the first round of your raglan, okay? You're going to be doing that with the yarn overs every other row, okay? Not every single row, because what this is going to do is it's going to add 8 stitches, okay? It's going to add 8 stitches per round, and you don't want to be adding 8 stitches every single round. You're going to have to alternate it with a knit row. Okay, I'm to my marker now, and as you can see, this tail is wanting to get in the way. So I'm going to show you now how to fix that. Okay, so grab a small crochet hook. Let me get one here. Let's see. Grab, this will like here, like a number 3 will work. And flip your work over so that the purl side is facing you, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to sew this together. Turn it upside down. Pick up right here. Take your yarn, pull it through like that. And then we're going to pick it up these few strands. So we're going to grab it and pull it through. Then we're going to chain 2 to double knot it, just like that. Pull it down tight, and then we're going to weave it in up here. Okay, I'm going to weave it in up here. I just like to stick it into the knit stitch, grab it, bring it round. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. And I just pull it up a few rows, like so. Because that tail is just going to get in your way and it's going to frustrate you. Then I go once, twice again, pulling it tight, stretching it out, and then we're just going to clip that little thing off. And I forgot my scissors. Okay, got my scissors. Just going to clip that off, just like that. And then that part will be done and we don't have to do that later. Now, do you see how nice and stretchy this is? This is from doing that long tail cast on. When you do a regular cast on, it's not going to be stretchy like that, and it's going to be kind of, what am I trying to say? It's going to be kind of wavy and ripply. It's not going to look as neat and clean. That's why that long tail cast on is important. You don't have to do it that way, but it's much neater. Okay, so now we're just going to knit this whole round. We're not going to do anything different, okay? We're just going to go all the way around and knit. And when I get to the stitch marker, which is here, oh, let's see. I probably can go down. Once you work the first round or two, it goes pretty quickly. You can knit much faster. Yeah, we can be speedy now. Well, a little bit maybe. I know before this gets too large, I'm going to be looking for that size 8 needle because I do not like this bamboo one. It's sticking. I don't know, it's just a pet peeve that kind of irks me. I like to go fast. Okay, now this is the last knit stitch, and here you had this yarn over. Be very careful that that doesn't slip off that needle, okay? Keep that intact, and we're just going to go ahead and knit that, like that. Knit the center stitch, and knit, just like that, the next one. Okay, so we're going to go all the way around and knit every stitch in that fashion. Okay, I don't know if you can see here, I am at my next part here where I'm going to be having to slow down and pay attention. We knit this stitch here, and here Because if you pull on this and you're going too fast and you're pulling on it, it can come flying off your needle, and that has happened to me before. So just knit that. It looks like a big old hole, but believe me, it works in. And then knit the center stitch and knit that. Okay, just like that. Keep going round. All the way, we're going to do that now, all the way around until we get back to our center marker, which is here. And then I'm going to show you one more time how to do the raglan. So the repeat is like this. We're going to do a row of the yarn over raglan. Then the next round, not rows, I'm sorry. We're going to do one round of the yarn over raglan. And then the next row will be the all knit row. And you're just going to repeat that. You're going to repeat that all the way until you get that yoke as long as you want it. However your size is, whether you're 8-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, you're just going to keep going like that, and you're going to repeat that. So I'm going to, like I said, finish around here, and then I'm going to show you one more time how to do the raglan. Okay, I made it back to my marker. And at this point, what you might want to do is move up your markers as you come to them. And so we're just going to knit till we get to that marker, and we're going to do our raglan. This is our raglan round. We completed that knit round, all knit, and now this is our raglan round. I hope my hands, I apologize if my hands go out of the frame. I will tell you that doing tutorials, and I've got the camera blown up a bit so you can see, it's hard to keep my hands in the frame. But I'm trying. All right, scoot that down and around. Have to pay attention here as to where my last raglan was. Okay, you want to look real close. Here is your center stitch. This, you will knit this right stitch right here. And you always want to do the raglan right before the center stitch. Okay, so yarn over, knit the center stitch. And we're going to move up that marker before we go any further. Just like that. And now we're going to do another yarn over, and we're going to knit until we get next marker. And you're going to repeat this now all the way around by coming to your, here's your center stitch. So this right here would be your yarn over. Then you're going to knit that center stitch, move up your marker, then do a yarn over, and then knit. And that's it. You're just going to repeat those 2 rounds for however long you need your yoke to be, however large. So I'm going to keep working, and I'm going to switch my needle, of course. And when I come back, I'm going to have my yoke. I'll have more done in my yoke. So, yeah, so the next time I come back here, I will have this pretty much all finished, and then after that, it's going to be showing you how to divide for the sleeves. Okay, so I am back, and you can see after working several rounds here, I switched my needles up, and it's getting full on the needle now. So I'm going to conclude this as a part 1. That way it will give you time if you want to begin your own project. And I'm going to be back in another week or 2 for the second part, where I will have the yoke completely at the length I need it. And I will show you how to divide for the sleeves. So with that being said, I hope yours is turning out as well as mine here. And you can see the raglan increases on each corner, and then you just fold it like this. You have your own little beginning of a sweater. At this point, you can try it over your head and see how well it fits. Now, your yoke depth will be for your size, however many inches you want. Just put this here over top of your head, and then take a tape measure and measure from the top here all the way down as long as you need it, and it will need to reach about, it'll need to reach your armpit, but you don't want it at the very, very top of your armpit. It is best, in my opinion, to go about an extra inch below your armpit. That way it'll give you more room. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please stay tuned next week or week after that for part 2. And you all take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.